Good morning, everyone. Hope you've survived your week of isolation and are still reasonably sane.
We're going to have another devotion, this time from John chapter 19, 31 to 37. Thanks, Jen.
Now it was the day of preparation, and the next day was to be a special Sabbath. Because the Jewish leaders did not want the bodies to be left on the crosses during the Sabbath, they asked Pilate to have the legs broken and the bodies taken down. The soldiers therefore came and broke the legs of the first man who had been crucified with Jesus, and then those of the other. But when they came to Jesus and found that he was already dead, they did not break his legs. Instead, one of the soldiers pierced Jesus' side with a spear, bringing a sudden flow of blood and water. The man who saw it has given testimony, and his testimony is true. He knows that he tells the truth, and he testifies so that you also may believe. These things happened so that the scripture would be fulfilled. Not one of his bones will be broken. And as another scripture says, they will look on the one they have pierced.
Thanks, Jen. Victims of crucifixion suffocated to death. They were suspended on the nails through their wrists so that their arms constricted their lungs. They had to push up on their legs to breathe. They died when they no longer had the strength to do this. It could take days. Breaking their legs hastened this eventual end. The Jews don't want the crucified bodies, cursed as they were by God, according to Deuteronomy 21, hanging there outside Jerusalem on the Sabbath, especially the Sabbath in the Passover week. So they asked Pilate to have the victims' legs broken and their bodies removed. But the soldiers find Jesus already dead. To make sure, one of them pierces his side. After death, the bodily fluid separate, so that the flow of clear liquid along with blood was a sign that Jesus was really dead. Jesus' resurrection was so unlikely and so unexpected that people since have claimed that he merely fainted and then revived in the cool of the tomb. But John was there. He saw the water. The man who saw it has given testimony, and his testimony is true. He knows that he tells the truth, and he testifies so that you also may believe. So that you, the reader, may believe that Jesus really died and really rose again. But there's another reason why this detail matters to John. It means that none of Jesus' bones were broken. And this, says John, happens so that the scripture would be fulfilled. Not one of his bones would be broken. This doesn't come from a word of prediction in the conventional sense. It's not that a prophet said, one day this will happen, and now it's happened. These words come from the Passover rule book. They describe how the Israelites were to treat the lambs. They must not leave any of it till morning or break any of its bones. When they celebrate the Passover, they must follow all the regulations according to Numbers 9. John's message is clear. Jesus is the ultimate Passover lamb. John has already reminded us that the crucifixion is taking place in the middle of the Passover festival. Jesus is the one who sets us free from sin and dies in our place, just as the Passover lamb died in the place of the Israelites and led to their liberation from Egypt. In 1 Peter 1 we read, "For you know that it was not with perishable things, such as silver or gold, that you were redeemed from the empty way of life handed down to you from your ancestors, but with the precious blood of Christ, a lamb without blemish or defect. He was chosen before the creation of the world, but was revealed in these last times for your sake." This is God's salvation plan, carefully woven from the beginning of time, and it was all for your sake, says Peter. So today, take a moment to look on the one you have pierced. Behold the glory of the cross and worship the Lamb who loved you. Pray this prayer. This is August Toplady. It's a verse from Rock of Ages. Rock of Ages, cleft for me, let me hide myself in thee. Let the water and the blood from thy riven side which flowed, be of sin the double cure, cleanse me from its guilt and power. Thanks for joining us this morning. We'll see you tomorrow.